Welcome to another Quantum Conversation. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome, beautiful hearts. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited today as we are continuing our series in the Developing Psionics Summit Series. So how do we develop our psionics, our psychic abilities, primarily our intuition? That's the topic of our show today as we meet with a beautiful spiritual teacher, Susann Taylor Shier. She's here to talk about intuition magic for your soul's awakening. Hi, Susann. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Hello, wonderful to be with you as always, Loren. Always, always. Yeah.
This is a beautiful time to talk about intuition because many of us find ourselves overriding intuition or, let's see, learning about intuitive moments after the moments. So when we're talking about intuition, can you explain what this is? This is our innate ability, but why do so many of us need to develop it? What has happened along the way that's stolen that from us?
Well, that's a whole bunch of questions, which are fantastic. Why do we need to develop it is probably the most important one for me right now. It's because it really is our divine channel. Our intuition is way bigger than just getting right answers and knowing what to do next and all of that. It's all part of that, absolutely. But it really is the way that Creator set it up for us to have our divine connection, listening to the voice of spirit, listening to what I call our guidance collective, having a soul and higher self, and all these beings that are here for us of the higher realms. How do we funnel that into our everyday life is through our divine channel of intuition. And that's why it is so important for us at this time to develop that. Always it is. But, everybody here wants to have more connection with the higher realms, right? You wouldn't be here with this wonderful network, summit, all of that if you didn't want that. We all do. We're on a spiritual path for that. Yes, to better our lives, which is all part of it, but to have the connection to higher realms. And your intuitive channel is the way to do that. Now, we know that, for instance, as a soul, when we were out in the other dimensions, before we started doing Earth incarnations, this is one of my specialties, is being a bridge for those larger dimensions of where we came from, how our soul knew how to do all of this. We knew we were one with all that is. Can you imagine thinking that you didn't have your intuitive voice on, on board with you at that time? Of course you did. As a soul, that was part of your makeup of oneness. Coming here, we have this challenge of separation that has kept us from that soul's voice. And now we're going, wait a minute, I want that back. I want to connect with those divine beings again that I know so well. And every time there's a solstice, an equinox, an 11:11, solar flares, everything that we know is going on, I want to feel like I can access that and not have it bowl me over, right? And that wound of separation, that glass ceiling, so to speak, of not being connected to these higher beings is what makes it feel like we're being bowled over. It's too much. But we're at a time where it can't be too much. It needs to be what I would call our spiritual fortress. I like that phrase. Okay, I'll stop there because I could just keep going, but
Yes. Okay, I love that. I really do. So our spiritual fortress and listening to this channel. And so let's talk about how it got shut down because we have to rekindle it. Do you know how it got shut down?
Certainly. I mean, every soul has a bit of a different story, and that's part of why in the special offer that I'm doing today, I do a 30-minute reading to help you reconnect where it was disconnected for you as a soul, which is unique for each one. So we have to read what's going on with your soul that brought up this fear. So for each one, it's a little different. But in our journey to planet Earth, we dissolved that connection as being the most important thing. Or when we were here, we bought into what we fondly call the fall. You know, in many religions and traditions, it was the collective fall from, which is basically the collective disconnect to spirit guiding our life. And so everybody has that in them in some way. But I like to look at what your soul has to say about why you're disconnected and why you're having such a craving to get reconnected and why there's a pattern of fear in you for making that connection. Because that's what I find having taught intuition for years and years. The feeling is there's a fear, yikes, what will happen to me if I start getting that big? What if I start bringing that much light in? And everyone here knows we've got past lives where we got what, crucified, whatever it was, for bringing in our light. So now we start to open up our intuition, and that is our light, you know, our creator light coming in through that divine channel. And we're like, no, I could die for doing that. Or I will be separate from even more separate from others than I feel now, feeling unseen and misunderstood. So it's like, I don't dare do it, but we want to dissolve that so you can have what it is you know is going to help you create and manifest. Because manifestation comes from what I call that that hourglass. The more connection we have to our universe and the higher realms, think of the amount of support you've got funneling in to what it is you want to create, because it's all creator energy, right? In the other realms. So the more connection you have, the more easier it is for you to manifest at this level. It's like, you know, right now you go, oh, I want to manifest my dream job. And you're like, no, okay, good luck with that. When you feel connected to a universe of beings that go, that you feel with you viscerally, I want to manifest my dream job. Can't you feel the difference? Like, oh my God, that's going to happen for sure. It's already on its way, right? Yeah. So that's another important part to developing that intuitive knowledge and connection. Yeah.
Beautiful. The word, I keep hearing this word trust what you're
Yeah.
receiving. Okay, before we
Yeah.
get there though, what are some of the crucial steps though? What are the crucial steps to listen? Is there a protocol or how do we cultivate that so that
Yeah.
we can make a decision and know that it's
Yeah.
one?
Right. Right. Exactly. So years and years ago, I had no intuition and I was like, you know, I was hearing this is 30 years ago. Well, just meditate. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to do it because I would meditate and I wasn't very good at it. But I would meditate and go, that didn't get me connected. I don't feel like I've got my intuitive voice. So I started asking my guides, give me some specific tools. And they're brilliant. They're brilliant. They want the best for us. One of the keys is knowing the difference between your intuitive voice and your mental chatter, because we don't. We go, okay, I'm hearing my voice, the voice of my soul, my spirit, the higher beings. I'm feeling that. And then the mind comes in and goes, are you sure? How would you trust that? Why would you trust that? I've been with you forever, kind of thing. And the mind wants to clamp it down. But we don't know how to discern the difference. So, one of the things I love to teach is how to know that difference in a very clear exercise. And again, that's why I'm doing this special offer so you can learn how to do that for yourself. Yeah. And that's a key one for sure.
Yes, beautiful. Okay, so I am going to reach out to our audience on Zoom. If you're watching
Okay.
this on YouTube, you'll find a link to today's episode, which has the link to join us on Zoom if you want to get a little mini reading. We're going to be doing some rapid fire mini readings to gauge our intuitiveness and how we are open to that. So you can raise your hand if you're with us here on Zoom. Okay, is there anything else you would like to say about intuition and or maybe you said that you weren't so good at what was a clincher for you when you really discerned the difference between that mental chatter and your voice, and it allowed you to establish this trust in
Hmm.
what you were receiving.
What I found and have found over and over again with others is when you develop that sacred relationship with your guides, then you feel as though you know them and you have it's like having a relationship. When you first meet somebody, you're like, oh, okay. And then the more you get to know them, the more you're like, ah, I have a place in my heart for them. And well, that's one huge piece. I find that trust comes from the heart, not from just the third eye. So when you're able to bring your intuitive wisdom into your heart, then you start to develop more of a trust, and even deeper than that, a knowing. Ah, that is the heart won't lie. And it's not your emotional heart, it's your deeper sacred heart. And it will give you that barometer that says, oh, this is something I can trust. So it comes from the heart. And then the other piece is that feeling of relationship with your guides, that they're there with you. And it's like we're a we walking through the world. And then you start to realize, oh my gosh, they are real because I can start to either sense them, whatever is your way of doing it. But I do believe everyone can have a sensation, just like we know what the sensation of light is when we feel lit up. We can have that feeling of, oh, I can feel that presence with me. Now, you can fake it till you make it, which is I recommend to people just walking through life, and every few minutes just take a moment and go, hey guys, thanks for being with me. We know the value of appreciation, don't we? Hey guys, thanks for being with me. And you could say, well, I don't believe they're really with me. Hey guys, thanks for being with me. And you start to go, oh, well, maybe they are. Hey, you guys, this is great how that worked today. Thank you. Oh, and you start to feel like, again, you may believe you're coming up with this fake stuff, but the fact is you start recognizing and engaging with that dimension of you, which is what's another part of the relationship, is that sense that your intuitive guides are your guidance collective. Now, I know we all connect with archangels and Metatron and all sorts of beings as part of that, but you have a unique guidance collective, which will include all that is important to your soul and those higher beings. That way there's no comparison of feeling like, oh, those people that Loren interviews, they're connected to Melchizedek and I don't know how to do that. What's yours to be connected to? And trust that even though you may not know which specific beings they are, they're yours, and they've probably been with you for lifetimes, thank goodness, and gotten you this far.
Thank you. I love that because as you're sharing, I was going to ask about angels because I like to do a little thing with the angels. If I
Mm.
lose something, I call on the angels. But you made a really good point that we have even our guides, our collective of guides could be angels as well.
Oh
And
yeah.
so let's not label who they are and just know. And then, so, I was missing something, a little control thing that fell off my bicycle. And I kept saying, oh, please help me find it. Please help me find it. And then I remembered, ooh, I have to be thankful we have to thank our guides. That's part of that relationship,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Cultivating a relationship. So do we always have to ask?
Well, I do it differently than asking because often asking is a separation thing. Hey, you
Okay,
guys over there, I don't have a clue here, and you've got all the answers, which is a feeling that they're almighty and we're not. I find it's
I love
co-creation. So the way you ask the question is very important, which is from your, say you want, maybe it's a little bit bigger than I've lost something, okay?
yeah.
I have this idea of wanting to be a healer, but I don't know how to get there. So you want
Yes.
to say with your guides, for instance, um, I have these factors and they're really important to me. I hate a 9 to 5 job. I want this. This is important. This is valuable to me. Not I don't want, I don't want, I don't want. You might start with I hate a 9 to 5 job. So you're putting in your human equation, which is important. The guides want to hear all that. And then you say, share with me your perspective and your part in the equation. So you feel you're working together. Makes a world of difference when you feel like you're working together, right? We know that in the human world.
You know, this is really great as we're closing out this year of 2024, moving into 2025. I can really sense that many are amped up, ramped up, amped up to really move forward in new ways and do things in
Yes,
different ways. And to it's game on for New Earth,
yes,
actually, like never
absolutely.
before. We say this all the time. It seems like every year it's game on, but this is even more game on, it feels
Yep,
like. So
yep,
as we step up, I love that partnership of asking the guides to inspire us, to show us the way. And looking back and, I just want to share this and then we're going to go to some callers. I overrode. I did do that with myself. I'd be like, for many years, it's like, how do I monetize my radio show, for example? And and my guides and angels kept showing me. But what did I do? I didn't take it to heart. I looked in my little me, looked at people, they showed me 3 examples of ways to do it. And I said, oh, somebody's already doing that. So it
uh-huh,
took them a few more years for them to bolster me up, for me to feel that motivation to just go do it. And
right.
that's what I think I want to encourage everyone to do. It doesn't matter who is already out there doing stuff.
Ah,
It doesn't matter because there's no competition in that sense. We're
mhm,
all here
mhm.
to bring our unique expression, no matter what it is. I
Right,
like to
right.
use the analogy of 100 yoga teachers. Some yoga teachers would be like, well, what is the difference between my class and that class? Night and day is the difference
Yeah.
because of the unique signature that we each bring to the people that we're working with and creating an experience.
Yes,
So that's
yes,
really, that's
yes.
so this partnership with our guides, is there, before we take our next caller, is
Sure.
that all there is to it?
Oh,
Um, no,
no.
do you go to bed? Do you have rituals? What else
I
should we?
do, and that's what I do in the course that I have in the special offer is a
Yes.
lot of that kind of thing. It's a lot to describe. There's so many tips, and I just
Good.
wrote the book. I just wrote the book,
Yes,
you know,
congratulations.
and that's all part of it as well to give as many people as possible all the tips and tools beyond just knowing the clairs of how to live with your guides in your day, how to know the difference between the voices, how to do ritual. There's just so many things I can hardly get started on it. But one of
Love.
the things I do want to say is you said game on, and I really want to punctuate that right now because the higher realms are so with us. They've built a foundation already. I mean, we keep saying, why could these things happen on Earth? Why is it not going faster? Why is this not happening? It's our connection with those higher realms that will so-called speed it up. So we want to be, we're done with being warriors for I'm going to get this thing going and I'm going to get this website built and that kind of push and shove we're done with, but we do need to be warriors for our light coming through. And your guidance and the divine channel that you develop will nudge you to say, this is where your light can come through most. This is where you can create from light. Because the future has not been written. We need to remember that. The future has not been written. Is it going to be our connection to the higher realms of light that is ours to bring as a unique soul, and our soul gifts and our guidance collective that's going to bring in how we as grand creators create the future? We're doing it. And I really believe that our connection is paramount to how we do that. Otherwise, we're just sitting there going, well, I don't know how to create the future against all these other odds that are trying to create the future because their, power is this and that. It's like, uh-uh. Our creation of light is the power of the future. Creating it now creates the future. Yeah. So game on for light and our divine channel of connection. Yay.
Thank you for that, Susan. I
Ah,
absolutely love it. And it's really empowering, inspiring, and helpful at this time because, we can, there is a little bit of fear right now with what's going on. We just went through an
understandable.
election, all that stuff. Now there's projections of other people. Projection. You know what? Tune it out and tune into this light, like you're saying. So really important to develop
Yes,
that channel
yes,
within us to our,
yes,
I loved that image you gave of the hourglass, right? It's this
yeah,
realm that we anchor here.
yes.
Wow, I feel that. And wow, that just makes me so happy. It
Doesn't
really
it?
does. It makes
Yes.
me happy,
Yes.
confident, ready
Yeah,
to
go
go.
ahead.
Have you ever questioned your intuition? No, because you've got a way to figure it out.
Well, yeah, no, I don't. The mind will question my intuition. And that's what I know is that it's my mind questioning it,
Uh-huh.
right? And all of that. But my wisdom, that's what we're developing, is a wisdom and perception for how to move forward. Even though this is being said, that's being said, tomorrow something else will be said and something else will be said. And then the next day it'll be a different projection and a different projection. But your wisdom is what you want to be able to hold true to. And when you say questioning your intuition, sure, there's times when I'll get a yes towards something. My classic example is if I ask, should I take some vitamin C right now? And they're like, no. And you're like, yeah, but I sort of feel this thing going on in my head. And then if I ask, well, should I take it in 3 hours? It's like, yes. And it's like, oh, they're not saying no forever. It's not cut and dry. It's just right now, whatever's happening in your body, I don't know. Now's not the time to take it. But in 2 hours, yeah, yeah.
So we're going to go to questions next, I promise.
Yeah, I know. I promise I'll stop too.
Well, I just want to say that I've seen, people, I've seen a woman in the grocery store at the vegetables,
Oh
and
yeah.
I was like, I want to do that because I think I can do that. And so then this is like where you can feel into your environment, you can feel into the vegetables, right? You can
Yes.
feel that, and
Yes.
don't override it. So that's another way of developing this. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
starting small things, but then
Yeah.
watch out for the big things that come afterwards as
That's
well.
right. That's right. But it's your communion with that lettuce that helps you develop the connection. It's not standing back and looking at the vegetables and go, talk to me, talk to me. It's like, no, you share with them and you commune with the vegetables and go, anything you want to say right now? And it doesn't always have to be words. That's where we get caught as well. More people say to me, well, I don't see visions or I don't hear voices. It's like, so there's a myriad of ways for you to get connected, and that's what we get to discover. Again, it's not just the clairs, so to speak, because I know a lot of people have gotten tripped up on that too. There's Lots of
And comparing themselves with others, like I don't hear the way that person hears, or I don't see. So, okay. All right.
exactly,
So it's unique for each of us. Let's go
exactly.
to some readings so we can see
Do it.
how you assist people. First up, we have
Yeah.
George. Hi, George. You can unmute yourself and say hello. We have George. Hi, George.
Hello, can you hear
Hi.
me?
Yes, welcome.
I wanted to ask Suzanne, what is keeping me from my connection to my um, higher guidance?
Okay, great. What makes you feel you're not connected?
I feel like I've just had a connection to my higher self.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
Prior to going to sleep, I had light show up in my forehead. And how can, if this is true, which I believe it is, how can I
Great.
develop that?
How do you develop that? You stay with that. So you've had something in you felt in your forehead of a presence or
Uh, a light came through. Then the next day,
oh, okay,
it
great.
was
All
the
right,
higher
okay,
self
here's how
came.
you're going to do that. Thank you. So the light came through, and I want you to recognize that that light, if it could come through once, it could come through a million times. Hold on to the fact that that light is there, and you're going to focus on calling that light. I'd love to have you back again. The other thing is when you remember that sensation of that light in your forehead, you can go back to that memory in a second, right?
Yes.
You remember that feeling. It's never going away. So you keep bringing it in. That's like, oh gosh, I remember that light. Oh, that was bliss or happy or peaceful, whatever it was. I remember that. Now, what you want to do is start to feel yourself going into a larger field where, and follow that light and go, where did you come from? Not with your mind, but with that feeling sensation. What larger light brought you here? And start to develop that connection. What larger light brought you here? And trust anything that comes up. Okay? It could be
Yes.
Santa's sleigh. You don't know, but just be with that and allow it to rise and show you it more of its brilliance, its origin, or its expanse.
So basically communicate right directly to the light.
Yes, but not from your mind when you say communicate from your heart.
Okay.
Dear light, I am so grateful for your presence. I am so grateful for your presence. Thank you for showing up. I'm so glad I could receive it. And now I'm going to receive more of that, but do it from your heart. Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Great. You're on your way, George. Good job.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, George. I love your experience, and I'm actually going to take I'm going to follow the advice of Susan. And when I have experiences like that, I'm going to follow that and continue to ask more questions. That's the key. And to let it reveal itself, right?
Yeah.
It's going to open up more. Like in hypnosis sessions, when we start talking, more is revealed. So when we're talking with our sensations, it's going to show us more, isn't it?
Yeah, sensations and heart. So when you say questions, I'm only going to refine that because so many people are like, well, tell me where you came from and what should I know about you? And then you're in your mind and it just becomes a mental exercise of separation. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right,
Uh-huh.
let's go on. We have Ma Hamilton. You can unmute yourself. Hi, tell us your name.
Maggie.
Maggie. Hi,
Maggie
Maggie.
Irish. I see it. Ma Hamilton Irish.
Hi,
Yeah.
Maggie.
Um, I have a a vastness in
Mm.
my awareness that isn't connected to anything it isn't connected to anything. I have a longing to understand what being more is for me. I know frequently my guides put hands over my ears. Things like no distractions. So I just don't, I'm just like, yes. And I don't want to interrupt it with anything I have to do. I'm just kind of like ready. I'm at the platform. I just don't know what to do.
You're at the platform. I love that. At the station, ready to get on the train, but not sure what train to get on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you talked about the vastness. How beautiful is that? So you know that vastness at some level, yes?
Yes.
Something in you, and this relates to a soul challenge, soul wound, doesn't believe that that vastness has a place in you here.
Mm.
So I want you to feel that that vastness, and again, that's part of why I do sessions with people, is to help you be able to bring that vastness in to your reality in a way that you can feel is safe, trustworthy, and real. So you can go,
Okay.
oh, why couldn't I have that vastness in my
Ooh.
own field and inside my body? Because it really is. We say it's all within us, but it's not. It's within our universalness. But because of this wound of separation, most things are beyond, seeming to be beyond our reach because we haven't brought them in. The essence is all within us, but the fullness is not until we reclaim it, reunite with it from these larger dimensions of us. Does that ring true for you, Maggie?
Yeah, I think it's a fear of shining and being a light. It's
Yeah, yeah.
it's
It goes back to your original wound of, you could say, being rejected for bringing that. Imagine bringing that light when you were a child in this lifetime, for instance. What would
yes.
happen? Yeah, that's a good joke, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. So it's like, it's not safe to bring that here,
Yeah.
but you're in a different place, and it's like, oh. But the thing is, when you actually bring it in, that's when you feel the safety to have it be a part of you. It's not till you bring it in that you feel safe about it. If it's out there and you're here, you're like, it's not safe. And it's like, wait, because I'm separate from it, it doesn't feel safe.
Thank you so much. That
You're
makes
so welcome.
so much sense. Thank you.
Ditto. Good. I'm so glad.
Thank you, Maggie. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go. I'm going to call on Hillary. Hillary, you can now unmute yourself and you can get a mini reading as well. Hi, Hillary.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
Oh, hi, hi. Um, Susann, thank you for calling.
Of course.
A few years ago, I did a hypnotherapy course and absolutely loved working with it, and it led me through synchronicities to wonderfully give up teaching after 30 years.
I was going
And
to say that sounds just right for you. Mm-hmm.
And I thought things happened. I was doing voluntary stuff, and sort of my life had completely taken off in a different um, direction. And then suddenly, it just all stopped. There was a couple of incidents, and it stopped. It had to stop, and then it's never come back, so to speak. There's been grandchildren born since the pandemic, and so I've been looking after them. But now they're off to school, and it's like, is there something that I can still do? Was I on the right path? Should I continue it, or was that just for that moment in time?
You are on the right path, path for sure. those incidents, remember, hurt your heart, didn't they?
Yes, very much. Yes,
Very much so. I didn't want to say a whole lot, but it's true. They were just they were crushing incidents,
yes, yes,
which made you feel as though it wasn't safe, even going to vital to, okay, it's like you almost felt if I hadn't been doing this, it wouldn't have hurt so much. But it was like, wow, I'm doing this beautiful work, and then all these horrible things are happening, and I can't stop them. So,
yes,
what's the value of my work if I can't stop people from suffering or suffering in myself and everybody else? And so you went hopeless, helpless. You know, we could all go there right now, right? But
yeah,
nope, game on even more so. So instead of going, yeah, if they're still suffering and it seems like light is not bigger than lack of light, because really it's all just light, lack of light, right? Um, that is appears to have a stronghold, it's like, wait a minute, that's going to make me feel like, oh, I have to get my stronghold from the larger realms and what I know and what I value. Okay. And you valued that course, you valued that work, you valued what that brought people. It's like that can't be taken from you. What you
hmm
value can't be taken from you.
hmm
Okay. So it's like, I value that. And my kids, I loved being with my kids and it was sweet and wonderful, but I got something bigger to do now. And I'm ready to, you're already prepared for it. You've already been doing it. It's not like, oh my God, I got to start this whole new deal. You know, it's like, no, it is time for me. And boy, am I needed. And I don't
Thank
want to
you.
say needed. I don't like that phrase because then you feel like you're doing it for everyone else. Boy, is that my way to bring the power of my creative spirit through.
Yes,
And what I
thank you.
love to create, I will not be stopped from what I love to create.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. You go
And
for it. Uh-huh.
yeah, is it going to happen? Should I go for it?
You should definitely go for it. If you want to do a session with me to be able to, in that special offer, to be able to clear this deeper issue, because it is a deeper issue than just this lifetime, that says, oh, when bad stuff happens, there's no space for me here. Okay.
Yeah,
Because otherwise it feels like a stop, start, stop, start. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And yeah,
thank you.
good. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're so
much. Thank you.
welcome. You're so
Thank
welcome.
you.
Great to be with you.
Thank you, Mom.
Hillary.
Thank you.
Yeah, we did
Thank
Irish and English, didn't we? How fun is that?
you. Yeah, we have our globe represented by all of
I
us today.
know. So good.
It's so good. Okay, so let's we want to talk about ways that people can work with you. Again, you've mentioned personal sessions where you can go deep and into that, but then you've also got a series of webinars for everyone. So let's talk about that, and then we're going to do a meditation
Great.
and we'll end everyone with a meditation. But personal sessions with you are really powerful. Tell us about these.
Oh, yes, they are. I can say that without reservation because I've had a lot of experience and a lot of, oh dear, results. Happy customers. I don't know what you want to call it. That's why I'm doing it 30 years later, because it still is so impactful. Because and it's in the special offer. That's why we're talking about it. And it is fast and it's deep because I work at a soul level. I help you to clear the fears and the challenges at a soul level, which relates to your universal connection, your connection to oneness, love, all that is, to release that bondage of being disconnected from that, so you can open up all that you are as a soul, and as Hillary was and I were talking about, so you can have a feeling that you can go full speed ahead, which is what is needed right now. personally for you to be able to feel that, okay, the game's on, I've got to create what I value now. If not now, when, right? We've said that for a few years, if not now, when, but now we're like, oh man, we are at the if not now, when line, right? Which is great because it makes us squeeze it's the bifurcation, as I call it. The squeeze is on to bring those larger dimensions in, right? And so that's what a session will do, get you connected to those larger dimensions in a way that you never even dreamed you could have. You know, for George, was it George? No, it was Maggie, the vastness, right? To be able to feel like it's not only safe to bring that in, but it's your creative impulse to bring it in. It's the larger realms that you get to be connected with. Hello. And then to be able to, in that same breath, you're releasing the challenge, which we will look at and I will name for you. We release that because when you bring in those larger dimensions, the other just flushes away. It doesn't take much at all. It's not hours and hours of clearing and all of that kind of thing. You just flush it all out because it doesn't fit anymore. There's no room in the in, which I find is the best way and most creative way to do something. Is no room in the in. You are filled with your true nature. Yeah. And way more than you thought was even your true nature. So there's that piece. And then the recordings are a class that I just did recently, 4 live sessions after my book number 5, which is like, really? I wrote 5 books? Okay, fine.
Congratulations.
I know. It's a beautiful labor of love for sure.
Yeah.
On intuitive magic to awaken your soul gifts, and it's practical guidance to awaken your soul's gifts. So we did experiential, and that's why I love doing the class, and the recordings are there so that you can experience your intuition taking off. And then you have time to breathe with it. And then you take the next class and it's like, okay, here's another way for you to open your intuitive gift and release the fears and the mistrust. And then you breathe with that and experience that, try that on, and then you go to the next level. And we really took it to the max to be able to give you what you need to absolutely not just trust, but know that your intuitive wisdom and guidance is clear for you. And yes, very practical that you will have it for those situations we all have in life, whether it relates to your health and well-being, whether it relates to decisions and choices, which we're making probably 100 times a day, right? That you have that feeling that you are completely guided by the best of the best through your divine channel, and how to do that and how to rely on it over and over again and know what works for you. Yeah. So there's a lot of words on that page. I'm
No,
looking.
I just want to
Yeah,
say
go ahead.
for it because it's a very comprehensive package. So
Yeah.
it's everything and it's affordable. It's really wonderful. You get a 30-minute session with you get those recordings, the 4 classes, and you get your new book with all those
Yeah.
practical tools.
Yeah.
Really wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Quite a
Yeah.
gift for those to go really deep into this topic and get serious about our intuition, because we can have an accelerated path by working with a beautiful teacher and a guide like you, who's done this in your own life. That's what makes you a great guide for the rest of us. Or we could do it on our own and do it by trial and error. Like we notice when we bypassed our intuition after we've bypassed or overrode our intuition.
Yeah.
And that could be kind of a challenging road. So this is a really, again, if we're creating new earth, we're in a vibration to create new earth. This is the keystone of that vibration, because isn't it true? Our intuition is going to tell us what that gut feeling is. If we wake up in the middle of the night and we're not feeling right, that's a good practice to say, what is this? Or how do I release this? Or how can I bring in more? Before we go into a meditation, do you have advice on how people can pivot into their intuitive gifts? For example, when they wake up and they're feeling ill at ease or anxious?
Ah, sure. So I was, as you were talking, I was thinking about this heart wall that we all seem to have. And we start trusting that heart wall. So we don't feel good. And it feels like we're actually, it's the heart wall or the gut awful feeling. And we're in that space and going, how can I trust my intuition? I've tried it on and I still don't feel good about this, and I doubt myself and I feel ashamed of my life, and I'm such a loser. I just can't get connected to my intuition. All of that comes up. It's totally understandable. So what we're going to do is in our meditation today, I'm going to have you create something so that you know for yourself what you can call on, because it's unique for each one. Because if I were to just say, well, just bring in the light of Archangel Michael, people are like, what is that? I don't know what that is. I want you to have an experience of what works in your universe and your reality. What kind of symbol, metaphor, sensation works for you that your guides want to give you right now, that you can, because of this container we're working with, that you can trust, is a way for them to show you they're always on board. Always on board. Yeah. And each time you get more of your relationship with your guides and with your intuitive channel, it starts to expand and you get even greater clarity. So it's not just one symbol, it's a sense that there's so many ways that it shows up. So many ways that it shows up. And you're like, oh, it's just like a fun game. Oh, today it's synchronicity. Tomorrow the day before it was a message that I got and I wrote it down because it made no sense to me, but now it does. And then another day. So you have lots of opportunity, not to confuse the mind, but to feel like your heart is full of possibilities. Yeah, for that divine channel. Yeah, yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So let's enjoy these moments together as we go within with you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm so glad to do this. Okay, everybody. Um, what I want to do is have you remember again that we are connecting to the larger dimensions of you. It's not all with you. I know you may feel as though you don't see visuals, you don't hear messages, all of that. Put all of those doubts and old ideas on the side. We work with creative imagination. Creative imagination is how your guides work. So I want you to very briefly think of something that you can imagine. Well, I'll make it easier for you. Imagine either another room in your house or your favorite place to go to. Just imagine that for a moment. Bring it into your awareness. And as you do that, it's like, oh, it's sort of vague. It's not as crystal clear as the place where I was, or it's not as crystal clear as my idea of my bedroom if I'm not in it. But it is a sensation of it. It's an impression. And that is creative imagination. And that's how your guidance often works, is creative imagination. It won't be crystal clear to your mind. Yay. That's how you know the difference. The other key is we are going to focus on your heart like crazy. Okay, so you're going to start by taking a deep breath into your heart space. As you take a deep space in your heart, I want you to bring in a light that you know and trust. could be a candle. It could be a sensation of light, sun, central suns. And breathe that in to your sacred heart space, that space behind your physical heart. And then breathe that light into your whole body. First, starting with your abdomen, that whole womb space for creation. A light coming in. And then breathe it into the rest of your body. And then breathe it all around your body, as though you are surrounded in this light. It's a light that you know and trust, whether it's a warmth or a visual sensation, doesn't matter. Come back to your beautiful heart space. And in your heart, you're going to ask, beloved guidance of mine that is connected to the higher realms of my spirit and the spirit of the universe and all oneness that wants to come in more and more these days. My heart is full of appreciation for your presence. My heart is full of appreciation for the way you wish to guide me now. I'm already in appreciation for what is just to occur. And now I'm going to feel myself, I'm going to go out beyond my body, out into those larger realms with that intention to ask for a symbol or a metaphor or a sensation that my soul knows I will trust to be a cornerstone, a touchstone for my intuitive guidance opening to its next level. And I'm going to let myself move beyond my physical aches and pains, my mental ideas, and just zoom out into that field of all spirit. With a sense of magic, with a sense of curiosity, with a sense of appreciative joy for what awaits me. And if it doesn't make sense to your mind, you can chuckle and go, of course not. It isn't for my mind. Go a little higher now, out beyond your physical capacity to create space for the vastness of spirit to come join with that metaphor, symbol, sensation, whatever it is. And then feel yourself thanking your guides for whatever shows itself, knowing that it will expand in the days ahead. It is a starting point for the next level of your creation and manifestation from your guidance. And then breathe that down when you're ready. Give you a moment. Whatever that is, be grateful for it. And now you're breathing that down into your beautiful sacred heart space. And maybe it comes on a waterfall. Maybe it comes on a golden light, a flow of some nature that it comes into your heart. This power of the light of your great being and all its connection coming in. Feel it in your heart and say thank you. Thank you because I know this is going to grow and expand as I put attention of appreciation and relationship to it. I will let it live there in my heart. Just like if I had a new child, grandchild, puppy, new garden, a new place to walk, it grows in my heart every time I think of it. A new food I've discovered, whatever it is, a new love interest, whatever it is, it grows in your heart. I'm going to let this grow in my heart. And as I let it grow in my heart, I begin to trust it more, knowing that I can always go out into that universe and pour that into my heart. That symbol that I can use when I wake up in the middle of the night, distraught, afraid, in the middle of the day. What do I choose to come back to? Holding this in my heart. That is being a spiritual warrior for light and love. I choose this regardless of what is trying to get my attention outside of what I know is mine to bring in, because my guidance collective brought it. My soul, all I'm connected to. And in this, I give great thanks. And I so look forward to more from you, which is what you can say to this beautiful symbol, sensation, metaphor. Beautiful. And then enjoy the rest of this day, whatever day it is for you, whether you're listening live or to the replay, the rest of your day, this new relationship you have with this symbol, whatever it is, opening up a space for creation and manifestation for you. Great. Thank you all for what you opened up for all of us. It's all connected. Yay.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That was very powerful and very potent, because I know it's different for everyone, as you said, but for me, there was this sensation of a knowingness, a warm sensation, a very calm sensation, very still. And it's outside of the mental chatter. And there is a confidence in that. So I loved it. I loved it. And that's
That's
going to be my
beautiful.
go-to.
Yeah. Yeah. That stillness that creates confidence. Absolutely. And for those of you who have that tendency to have more mental chatter, when you feel that stillness, give it a symbol or a picture. Is calmness a waterfall? Is it a flower blooming, so that in the middle of the night you can't find that stillness, you go, okay, I'm bringing in that waterfall. I'm going to picture that waterfall, and it starts to exude stillness and calm for you, because that's what your body knows is going to bring that. Great.
I love it. It is our light. It is our connection. It is our soul. And nothing can disturb that. Sure, it can try, but when we stay focused on that, it really is powerful, really important at this time.
Yeah,
Very important.
yes. And it's our gateway to our larger connection to those realms that we know is what floats our boat. We want connection with those realms. And this helps give that to us in practical ways and in phenomenally vast ways. So that's great. That's great. Yeah.
So then, as we cultivate this and develop this intuitive magic, can we become psychic? Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've got ideas about what psychic is, and that's where we get into trouble, or what channeling is. But that is being psychic and channeling for sure. There's really no difference between intuition and channeling. Now, is channeling and being psychic seen as being able to rely on it 24/7? Potentially that's what the idea is. But the more you open that channel, it's a channel for spirit to come through. That is our psychic nature. And, often we feel we're good at psychic intuition for others, but we're not so good for ourselves. And I want you to feel like you can do this for yourself and your own world and not just have it there for others, which is very important as well. But it is your psychic ability. As I said, 30 years ago, or whenever it was, probably 25 years ago, when I said, I don't feel intuitive, but I know I am, and I don't know how to develop it. I was already uh, intuitive, but because I kept developing it, it was like, oh, I guess I am psychic. It was just, oh, yeah, that's what I am. What do you know? Right? Starting to trust it, it's like, oh, okay, there's no difference. No difference. Yeah.
A really good beginning here of this whole series, developing psionics and the foundation of the intuition and the connection with the soul. As we build that connection, yes, we're going to have better communication with our guides. Inspiration will come in.
Yes.
New Earth solutions. I love it.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Feeling better, not being triggered by so much, or if we
Yes.
are triggered, remember this connection, remember this light, and let it rule our lives. Let it answer any questions. I can see how we can say, what do I need to know about this right now? And then that's where the channeling comes in, because we can start writing down in our notebooks, right? We
That's
can
right.
just kind of begin to write it down. And when we come back in hindsight and take a look at it, that wisdom is
Exactly.
brilliant.
Exactly. Well said. So you get a symbol today, and you could say, well, I'm already pretty intuitive, and many of you could be for sure. You get the symbol and you write the symbol down and you say, symbol, speak to me. And you're like, symbol, speak to me. What are you talking about? You crazy? And the symbol starts speaking, and you start to go, oh gosh, I guess I do know how to speak from my intuitive voice. I just thought I had to do it like sitting there going, what do you want to say? What about symbols speak to me? Or my deep appreciation for you? Or as George was saying, I had this light that came to my forehead. Speak to me, light. I'm in that sensation of light. Speak to me. Share with me. And it doesn't have to be a voice. It may be just a sharing of love to start with. So you go, oh, I'm developing a relationship with this thing that may be a symbol, but then it just blossoms like a seed blossoming. Yeah. Mhm. And
Beautiful.
like you said, new earth solutions. That's what we want. When we talk about creating the future, there need to be those of us who go, ah, the wisdom of spirit is working through me, and I see this solution first to start with for our own lives, and then it gets a little bit bigger, and it's like, okay, okay, I'm willing, I've got the greater confidence to bring that solution forward and call it my new earth, because it is. Yep, and build on that. Mhm, mhm.
Beautiful. Okay, light workers, light
Yay.
source workers, let's make this our priority. And every day we've been given some very valuable, useful, beneficial tools from our conversation today with Susann Taylor Shier.
Mhm.
And I invite you to get a session with Susann, or not just a session, but her entire package, which includes a session and the lessons that you're going to learn to cultivate this even more deeply. We have some people who are students of yours on our call, and they love working with you.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you.
I
Thank
can
you.
see how we can begin to play with this. We can begin, not only, again, hindsight is 2020, and we can say, wow, you know what? I thought about that before, and that was my guidance. Well, now we can even take it further and say telepathy, right? If we can talk to the higher realms in this way and be shown, then we can talk to other humans eventually, other beings in the spirit realm, the
Absolutely.
higher realm. But this is really important for communication in all ways, right? In all
Our
ways.
communication right now is pivotal. How we view humanity, and when we feel that, like the hourglass of that incredible, the force is with us and love is with us, then we have less of a challenge of how to be in the world and face a humanity that may be on a different page than we are, or how to build a business. Anything that we want to build and bring together starts with that feeling of the confidence that, again, the force is with us, source light is with us. Absolutely. Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. We are feeling fresh, lit up,
Good.
most importantly, connected.
Yes.
We are feeling connected.
Yes.
Yes, connected to our soul, our higher self. And actually, it's even beyond a connection, it's an embodiment.
Yes. Yes. Yep. They go together. Yeah, that's what I love to bring together is the connection embodied. That's the new earth. Connection embodied. Yay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's our frequency. So when we say new earth is a frequency, it's
Yes.
this frequency that cannot be jostled by anything externally in the world.
Right.
And as we know, our reality is here in front of us, 3 feet in front of us. So, and actually the 3 feet in front of us with Zoom too. But
Yeah. True.
that's our frequency. So this is a embodiment of that frequency. What a powerful tool today. Thank you, Susann.
Oh, always great to be with you, Loren. What we create together is always magical. Thank you. Thank you.
And so as we end our episode today, you always have some beautiful final thoughts. Can you share those with us?
Oh, this is going to sound a bit strange, but I really, I really recommend this. I know people buy packages all the time, and this is me talking about my thing. It is not about me at all. I want you moving forward at this pivotal time to have what you need uniquely, that is part of your unique guidance collective and your ability to move past those doubts and fears that say, well, others can talk about spirit and connection to spirit and being psychic, but I can't. I want you to be over that once and for all, because we were made, we say we were made for this. We were made for bringing in these larger dimensions. And I want you to feel like, okay, it's time for me to bring those in and not feel that there are a few that have those and the rest of us that just follow along. Nope, your time is here. And we love all of us. Being together, we love community, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, we love community. Yeah.
And we are so thankful for you, Susann, for you sharing these gifts that you have, and for actually all hearts who are watching this for joining us today. Thank you for joining us on Zoom here. For those who are joining us on YouTube and watching the recording on YouTube, thank you too, because you're all part of this. This is our
Absolutely.
community. I can feel it.
Me
See,
too.
part of this connection I can feel all of us. I can feel the different emotions that we're all going through. And we're building a bridge with each other, with the rest of humanity. We're building a bridge to our higher self. Hopefully that's not a bridge, but it's more of that embodiment connection. But we are here to build bridges now. I really truly think. And so these tools of spirituality are so important and beneficial. So again, I thank you, Susann, for the great wisdom that you share and for this feeling that you're leaving with us today. Thank you.
Yes, that bridge is open as your divine channel. It is wide open, and it can exist in your heart of hearts, and the heart of the community you feel such a part of. It's one heart, and you can let that pulse through you. So yeah, for sure.
Happy pulsing, everyone.
Yes.
Or radiating your light. It is important. It does matter. Remember that this connection that you were introduced to or reminded of today is always there for you, for us. And here we go on our planet, strong and fortified to share love in the face of everything.
Yes. May this be fortification for us all. Absolutely. Spiritual warriors for light. Yeah, great. Ooh.
Thank you for radiating your light, beautiful heart. Susann Taylor Shier, thank you for this beautiful quantum conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Loren. Always, always.
We'll see you again. Everyone, thank you for your light. And one reminder, the link is available for this beautiful special offer. Check it out, get signed up, and enjoy your time and your lessons with Susann. Thank you, Susann. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.